What's up, my people? What's up, my people? What's up, my people? It's your boy Action Pack. Welcome back to Action Pack Boxing. We're going to get straight into this. Terrance Bud Crawford is the undisputed so-called king of 147. And we're going to talk about Errol the Truth Spence and his condition and what doctors are saying and what people are saying. I want to get straight to it. First of all, we got a lot of boxers out there, and it's kind of shameful, but these boxers are out there praising Terrance Crawford, saying he's the pound for pound best in the division because he got all the belts. First of all, his first belt that Terrance Crawford got in 147. We only talking about 147 pounds, people. We ain't talking about no other division. We talking about the welterweight division. First belt he got was from Jeff Horn. That was the only belt he actually had until he fought Spence. That belt he got from Jeff Horn was a robbery from the Manny Pacquiao fight. Manny Pacquiao was clearly robbed in that fight, and they gave his belt to Jeff Horn, set up a fight between him and Crawford when Crawford came to 147, and Crawford took that, which everybody knew. Come on, Jeff Horn? Who knows Jeff Horn? Who's even speaking about Jeff Horn after that fight? Or really before that fight? Nobody was really talking about him. That's not a big name on Terrance Crawford's resume. After that, who did he fight? A bunch of B and C class fighters, and they was giving him good fights. He been hurt in damn near every fight, but all of a sudden he fights Errol Spence Jr. years and years later, when Spence is not even in his right mind, wasn't even 25% of his self, and easily wins. Of course, it was a brutal beating. Spence was not in his right mind. Thousands and thousands of people was talking about it as soon as they saw him in the locker room before the fight. Now, before Errol Spence Jr. was in the car accident, he was doing all the hard work in the division, all the heavy lifting. His resume is very respectable. He went and took the belt from Kell Brook, went overseas, took that belt, the IBF belt. That was his first title back in like 2017. Took that belt when nobody ain't want no parts of Kell Brook back then. Crawford definitely didn't want no parts of Kell Brook back then. He was the biggest, strongest dude in the welterweight division. And he gave Spence a hell of a fight until Spence broke his eye socket. After that, Spence went on to fight Showtime Sean Porter. Took the WBC belt. He said, I don't want no B-class fighters, no C-class fighters. It's strap season. Man down. Went, fought Showtime Sean Porter. Didn't even box him. Brawled with him and fought with him like a man. Beat him at his own game. Yeah, it was a close fight until he got clipped. But if you look at the scorecard, Spence was always ahead because he was landing the cleaner shots. That's 2 belts under his name. Fought. After that, he ended up getting in a car accident. Car accident had him in the hospital for 6 weeks. No broken bones. Head trauma. Head trauma. For 6 weeks, they was fixing his teeth and studying his brain, trying to make sure that he was all right and he was going to be able to box again. Terrance Crawford and his team, they saw all of this. They knew they'll wait a couple of years till Spence starts slurring his words and you start seeing that he's not right and everything like that. And then that'll be their best chance to try to get him. During that time, Bud Crawford was fighting a bunch of B-class, C-class fighters. No names. No names. His last fight was who? David Avanesian. He'll fight Kell Brook after Kell Brook had both his eye sockets broken. Sean Porter, when Sean Porter was on his way out, didn't even train properly and listen to his father. This is the people that Bud Crawford was fighting. Spence was doing all the heavy lifting. After he got the 2 titles from Kell Brook and took Sean Porter's title, then he fought Danny Garcia, which was a big name. He didn't have a title, but he wanted to fight all the big names. Then he fought Eudenis Ugas. He broke Ugas up so bad that it's terrible. Ugas hasn't fought yet. Now, that was the 100% version of Errol the Truth Spence. Broke Ugas' eye socket, his ribs, and his nose. Bud ain't want no smoke. He ain't want no parts of that. That's why the first negotiation of the contracts, he stalled it and stalled it and stalled it and stalled it, and then he turned it down at the last minute, knowing if he makes Spence wait, that'll get some ring rust. So Spence was waiting for 15 months before they can finally make the fight. And then on fight night, even before fight night, he looking drained. Spence was looking all drained, like he was weight drained and dehydrated, eyes bloodshot red in the locker room on fight night. And you could tell something was wrong with him. A lot of us were speaking about it right before the fight. Like, yo, this is crazy. This is not going to be good. He's going to get hurt because he's looking bad. What happens? Crawford makes it look like he washed him. He beat him up. He beat him up pretty bad, as you should. He's not even 50% of himself. Easy win. All the Bud sexual fans out there, yeah, he put on a masterclass performance and he got all the belts now. All he did was sit back and wait and try to go the easy route to undisputed. You beat a weak Jeff Horn. You beat a concussed, terrible version of Errol Spence Jr. And to praise that is just terrible. If I was Crawford, I wouldn't even feel good for beating up a man like that who can't, you see he's not himself and he can't even defend himself. But it's fight night. What you supposed to do? You're supposed to do what you gotta do. Take the belts because you're gonna look good on paper. On paper, you're 2 times undisputed. You got the title of undisputed champion at 147 for fighting 2 people. Terrible Jeff Horn and a terrible version of Errol Spence Jr. And now you the king of the division. You got the IBF, WBO, WBC, all the belts, Ring Magazine, WBA, all that for fighting 2 people. Like I said before, a weak Jeff Horn and a terrible version of Errol Spence Jr. So when people want to start talking about he put on a masterclass performance and he's undisputed and he the king and he 2-time this and 2. Man, cut it out, man. Nothing makes you the king but your resume. And Errol Spence has the resume. He has the resume. He fought everybody and took all the belts and he was just running through the division, collecting all the belts. If he never had celebrated and went out and got into that car crash and had that head trauma, we'll be seeing a whole different version of Spence. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody slipped him something and to tranquilize him because he looked like he was totally out of it. No power. His footing wasn't right. His timing was way off. He kept saying his timing was just like way off. And this is the guy y'all want to celebrate? Keith Thurman. Shout out to Keith Thurman. One of the only true champions that sent some good words towards Spence way and try to give him something to uplift his spirits to make sure that he stay up and he stay strong. But Spence said, you know, man, I got my nose up like he said, I got my head up like a nosebleed, man. I'm still, you know what I mean? I'm still a champ at heart. He know he's a warrior. He know he did what he had to do. So for all those praising him and all that, talking about Bud is this and Bud is that, just remember, man, he became undisputed out of 2 fights, man. Jeff Horn and a terrible version of Errol Spence Jr. Remember what Spence did. He collected all those belts. When he was running through that division the way he was, Crawford was not trying to make no fights happen. So do not gas yourself, man. This whole thing is off. This whole thing is just crazy. Do not lie to yourself. Hit the like button, drop a comment. If you agree, if you disagree, if you're mad, because I know the little Bud fans, I know they mad. I know they don't like to hear the truth. Errol Spence is the truth, y'all. Y'all know that. It's Action Pack signing off. Hit that like button, subscribe, and leave a comment. We want action, people. We about that action.